Hello, welcome back to my channel, Checks Capture Threads. Today's video is going to be Magnus Carlsen versus Ding Liren. And Ding Liren is black here against Magnus Carlsen, who's white. And Ding won this game. And we're going to be going through this. And as you can see on the right hand side, he actually has two brilliant moves here. And Magnus has actually got one blunder. We'll be going through this and seeing what has happened in this game. So, it starts off with e4. Then it goes e5. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, and now we're obviously in the Royal pairs. Now we go bishop a4, and after a few little moves here, we now go into obviously starting nearly in the middle game. So normally here as well, rook e1 is the most played move, but this is also obviously so much better still, or as better. And as the bishop comes back down here, we're going to have d6. Now if we have a look at the pawn structure real quick, and this is the only thing with black I would say that maybe is good with the whole Royal pairs, and it's this sort of structure you can get. Almost, you're attacking pretty much every square that's close to you. Other than maybe something like this square and maybe this square of the pawns, it's incredibly good. Now we get c3, and then knight a5, bishop c2, c5, and d4. Huge, trying to get everything swapped off here, which we do see in the end. Nearly, obviously, I don't think this would work because this would open the knight out and the queen. Get castling now. h3, rook e8. So we're now starting to get this open file here. That will happen, obviously, after the whole trading process, but Magnus tries to block this in a very good idea. Bishop d7, obviously just getting something out. Probably going to try and play rook c8 as well. And then after knight c3, queen b8. A little bit weird right now, but I don't really know exactly what his course of action is here. And okay, so he moves his rook to c8, which obviously does show that maybe the queen move, he wants to get this here, and then after he's going to try and do some doubling up. We get knight b7. This is a very positional side of things, and after this move we now get a swap, and now the b pawn is pushing. So rook e1, and now the big move here, queen b5, what he's been planning for a while. And obviously he's now been, Magnus could have taken, maybe should have taken, has pushed away, and now obviously going to get a double up here after knight d2. We're going to move g6, obviously looking to do a big pawn push here. And after, obviously, there's a bit of this, which isn't looking the best, we get a great move here of knight to c4, as it stops everything here, really, because it's an outpost right now. Obviously, because this pawn can't get to it. Now, bishop b5, and then knight a5 here is alright. I don't know if there's really too much here. It does obviously move the queen back a bit, but the queen's been there the whole game, so, and maybe a mistake, but it's okay, I would say still. It's literally dead even, as you can see on the left hand side. And a3, get capture there, and he's trying to block everything off here. I guess bishop takes c6, which isn't an accuracy, but after they take, bishop takes d5 is a great move, obviously threatening this, and after that moves, they take again, and now Ding is actually up a point, even though it's the exchange. And after the pawn moves, we get a brilliant move here, and this is a very, very weird one. I think it's due to, if this takes, we actually have the move queen b7 here, which would have been an absolute great move, as that's put them dead even here. It forces the king to move, so a very good idea, but it is a miss actually, as you are supposed to take. But in the end, this actually works out better now for Ding. And after a few moves here, he sacks his queen. Now, this is an okay move. And now as this bishop moves up, you'll see here in a second the exact plan. And the whole reason you have this sort of setup is to do these two pieces. I'll give you that clue. And this is also the big blunder here, as there's one move that is really nice, and it's this, as this pins this, because obviously this stops this square, that's another clue. And after this move, trying to threaten this, an amazing move here of knight e7, which wins the game. And the whole point is if you take, this is checkmate. So, a very good game there, I would say. Ding played that positionally incredibly well. And I think it was one of those games where it was very close right up until the end, and it just was unlucky. So, I mean, the opening here, this is what I mean with the pawns. Very strong. And I think it's very difficult to actually stop that as white. I think going into the middle game, though, we had maybe, I think white was winning, to be fair. I don't like how really we're getting all into this sort of mess as black. But I do think there were some moves that we could have played a lot here as white that maybe could have done something different. But obviously, I don't exactly, not as much as a grandmaster here. But I think there's some moves here that were definitely obvious for anyone to guess. But I think there's also some moves here that are very difficult to find. Like, I think this bishop a8 move is amazing, because even though you do take, after this, it looks incredibly difficult to actually, I mean, it's definitely a draw. I think the whole point is you're trying to play this, because I don't know if it can go away, actually, here, because I think there's some sort of, where's the move? Actually, would just be attacking the queen. So there is some sort of, idea there, and obviously this move was very good because he obviously protects this, and this can't take, and I don't think check does anything here, as you just got this, and exactly, and this is the next move here, which you can just take, I'm pretty sure, and then you'll have check and stuff like that. It's mating 8 as well, so it's definitely a load of moves. So that is it for today's video. That was Magnus Carlsen versus Liren. So thank you for watching, and bye bye.